studio. And we have a very, very, very special treat for the state, for the city, for the world. I have none other than Mrs. Tasia McCleod of C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C. That's not the right way to say it, is it?
C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C.
C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C.
Yes.
Let me get this mic a little closer so we ain't hurting the, stretching the heat. Cool. So cool. Let's start from the beginning. For the people that don't know you, for the people that never heard of you, let's hear a little background. You grew up down south in Gainesville. What is it?
I remember. I was born in Gainesville. I was born at Shands Hospital.
Nice.
And my mom came here to visit her family, and
had a baby here. So you're a Knox County resident, man. You just came back home.
Exactly.
So. We're definitely going to talk about the organization and a lot of the things that you do, but I want to talk about your background a little bit. Have you always been involved in, outreach?
Yes. I just always had a nurturing spirit. So,
what's the earliest stages of that? Little kid?
Probably when I was when I was a child, when I was really young, I always wanted to be up under my granddaddy.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C. As first for the people, let's break down the acronym if you don't mind.
Yes, C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C. is, an acronym. It stands for Cultivating Ladies and Setting Standards in Corporate America.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So, I guess my first question is, what compelled you to even start an organization like this?
It started with my class as a third grade teacher. As a third grade teacher, you're always looking for ideas to keep your students engaged.
Yes, ma'am.
And accountable. So a lot of times it was just always, I'm trying to find something to kind of just, if you didn't bring in your homework, there needs to be some sort of, repercussion that I can't whoop you. So
Right.
So
accountability.
what I did was, exactly, I wanted them to have some accountability. So I came up with this program where I turned my classroom into a business, two different businesses.
Wow.
My boys and then the girls. Boys came up with their own business, girls came up with their own business.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'd love to see this.
Oh, it was so awesome. They were so into it too.
I bet.
So I assigned their corporate titles. I had the CEO, the CFO, the CMO. I had the accountants, everything. So basically, I would pay them at the end of the week for this. If their team had, everybody brought their homework, they got money for that. They were assigned different, roles. Yeah. So somebody had to do the bathroom, somebody had to make sure the pencils are sharpened, somebody collected homework in the beginning of the day, that kind of thing. So
yes, ma'am.
Yes, and then the CEO, she kept track of who had what. You got your homework, check. You're doing your work, check. So she would bring me almost like an invoice. Okay. And then I would pay her for her team, and it would go like that.
What I'm hearing is these kids will never forget that. They'll never forget this experience. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's fine. And they were just always really excited about it. And then they had their goals. I had a short-term, mid-term, and long-term goal for them.
Nice.
So the short-term goal was at the end of the week, whichever team or whichever business, whichever company had the most money, they would get I called it Netflix and chill, but at the end, during lunchtime, I would let them come into the classroom and eat, and we would watch something on Netflix. Right, that was cool. They just loved it. We're on Netflix and chill. Yes. So that was cool. And then, love that. And then their midterm was a party. I let them have a pizza party at the end of the month, whichever team won. And then if as a collective, as a class, if they reached a certain amount of money, it would pay for their their field trip. Yeah. So they were just they loved it. And then I had a mentorship program for young ladies, separate from that. I was a third grade teacher, and then also I had a group called Ladies After God's Own Heart, Lego.
Nice.
And
okay, got it. Got it.
Ladies After God's Own Heart. And I just mentored them. I would listen to them. A lot of times these girls, it's nothing really wrong. They just need somebody to listen to them. And their parents are so caught up with the, hustle and bustle of the day. They have siblings. They got to make sure this is done and that is done. So by the end of the day, the parent is just like,
yeah,
you did your homework. All right, go to bed. See you in the morning.
Right.
So, a lot of times they just needed to be listened to. And I listened to them. And I figured, you know what? If my third graders can grasp this, I know you 16-year-olds can do it. So when I introduced the concept to them, it was like, oh, so, okay, I want to be the CEO. I'm going to do this. And, it was so exciting for them.
Right.
And it was exciting for me. I love to see them excited.
So talk about the transition from that to C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C.
So, actually in 2018 when I came here, I left everything in Fort Lauderdale. And I said, okay, Lord, I got to start over. How am I going to do this thing? You got to order my steps in this thing. So I started working again as a third grade teacher, this time at Passage Christian Academy.
Okay, shout out to Mr. Dix.
Yes!
Okay.
and
Me and, don't
wife.
tell me, Petra. She's, we went to high school together. She's a good friend. She's been up here a few times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're, the first lady, Lady Michelle, oh my gosh.
Nice.
I love her.
Awesome.
So, I was teaching at Passage.
Yes, ma'am.
And I had a lot more autonomy with the curriculum at Passage than, with the public school sector. Is a lot more structured. So I really couldn't introduce the concept in the public school sector.
Right.
So with Passage, I brought a different type of energy and more resources because coming from the public school sector, I had a lot of just little stuff. You've been teaching for a long time, you just have stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
So I brought a lot of different resources, and they gave me, as a result of that, they gave me autonomy with my curriculum. So I started introducing business in the curriculum. Okay, I'll tell you what's this, or what is the meaning of, I do little stuff like that. And then the girls, to be honest with you, I don't even know how these girls ended up in my bosom. They just ended up gravitating, and I introduced the idea to them, and they loved it, and the rest is history. I started a business with them in the classroom, and it just went from there. That's
all right. Talk about the reason you chose to focus on young ladies. Because you come from the third grade class with both. What was the decision behind that? Just thinking about that.
It's because I just have a way with girls. I have a way of relating to them and just getting through to them. I speak their language.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know this kind of sounds a little uppity, but the way that I dress, the way I present myself.
That doesn't sound uppity.
Yeah, okay.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay, yeah.
You look very professional now.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
It goes a long way.
So, yeah, that's how I would come to school, like where everybody else would kind of just, be dressed down in jeans. I always had on heels. I always, I was always dressed.
Are you talking about as a teacher or a student?
As a teacher.
Oh, okay, cool. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So it would be like, oh, Miss McCleod, what you got? Oh, that's cute.
Yes,
and they just kind of gravitated that way and wanted to emulate.
Yes, ma'am. Kind of enlighten us a little bit on challenges that our girls face. I'm a father. I have 3 daughters, and a lot of times I'm not gonna act like it. I'm totally clueless. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like my 12-year-old boy. Oh my God. Like, Anyway, I'm sure. But anyway, just kind of for the average person, what are some challenges that young girls face that we might not be aware of?
Oh my goodness.
The things that we could probably help with.
Well, I would say a major issue in our community that's plaguing these young ladies is boys. Their lack of I'm just put it out there. It's the truth. That's what they talk to me about all the time.
I used to be one of those. So,
so you know all too well.
I know what you mean.
But a lot of times that's what they want to talk about. They don't want to talk about, family. They want to talk about boys.
Yes.
And I think that is a huge issue that's plaguing, the young girls in the community. And I would say the lack of knowledge as it pertains to boys. Yeah. And so what I do is just I ask questions. I ask deep and thorough questions. And I'm very, I'm very transparent with them. I'm raw. I got it from my mom.
All right.
Raw.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's how I am. I tell them just like it is. And you know what? They don't, just like we don't like for people to play in their face, our face, they don't like,
they
don't
want it
play on
straight.
their intelligence. Yeah, tell them like it is. They know.
Yes,
They
ma'am.
just want to hear it. Sometimes they need the guidance.
I believe that. And
then after that comes the pregnancy, and it's just a vicious cycle. So we can just educate them just in that small area. I think we make a lot of difference.
Yes, ma'am. Let's talk a little bit about C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C. First, I want to ask. I always talk about the guy working at Taco Bell. How's the guy working at Taco Bell that doesn't have a daughter or a niece? How can he help or contribute or pitch in when it comes to C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C?
Well, first and foremost, he can go to our website, www.CLASSINC.divinefavorinc.org.
Do it again, because I said something.
Okay, that's www.CLASSINC.divinefavorinc.org.
Got it. And we'll do that a few times.
Okay. So they can go to our website, and it prompts them to, if they would like to become a monthly sponsor, they can do that. If they'd like to just do a one-time donation, PayPal, however it is that they choose.
Yes, ma'am. Now I was perusing your website and a few flyers, and you guys cover a lot of different things. I want you to first talk about why, not why, but just the importance of financial literacy as it pertains to your program.
Okay, so first of all, nobody taught us financial literacy in grade school.
They did. They didn't.
And I didn't even realize the importance of it until I got here, until I came in 2018 when I had to start over completely. It was just like, okay, what do I do? If I was equipped with that type of knowledge in grade school, I wouldn't have been at square one, like, what in the world? And I think that if we can get the focus when it comes to these girls, if we can take their focus off of those things that are distracting them and put it on something that's constructive and that they can build. If I told you can become a boss, I can teach you how to do a business plan, I can teach you how to really hone into what it is that you're gifted at, and you can make money off of it. They are actually excited about that. So the way I see it is like, if we can everybody just kind of pull resources, everybody just pour into these young people. If I can get the word out there and we can have people getting behind them, they can move mountains.
Absolutely.
These girls are smart.
Amen. That's what's up. Let's talk about, I was reading a line from your website, and you were talking about how you can help the young ladies build character. Talk a little bit about that, because that's one of those connotative things. Like, I don't really know, Yeah. So how in what ways do you do that?
Okay, so our program is actually broken down into 3 different categories.
Got it.
Okay, so you have decision making, voice, and confidence.
Got it.
Right. So we teach them how to make well-informed decisions as it pertains to not only their life, but their money, their budgeting, their business. How, if you can make the correct decisions, at that point you can write the vision. And once you write the vision and make it plain, that scripture.
Yes, ma'am.
You run with it. You know.
Amen.
So, we teach them how to make sound decisions. We also teach them how to find their voice. Okay, so if you know that you are worthy of your voice being heard, you don't fight so hard to scream. If you feel like people are actually going to listen to you, then you can. That takes a little bit of that pressure off. It's like, okay, now I can, just talk. That's all. You don't have to scream. You don't have to fight to be heard or seen. And that's one of those things that's, character building.
Yes,
if
ma'am.
A young lady, we don't want to say that to them now, but it's the truth. You need to be seen and not heard. Sit down somewhere, close your mouth sometimes.
Yeah.
So if you know how to use your voice, then you know when to use your voice. So that's one of those things that we're teaching as well.
Ma'am.
And then also vision. Voice, confidence, and decision making. So confidence. Oh yeah, we work on the confidence. I teach them how to adorn themselves. That is a big thing.
I love that. I do.
That's huge. You know what I mean?
love that.
If we can make them understand it is not about lips, hips, and fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
If you can absolutely be beautiful, fully adorned.
Absolutely.
You know, and I break that down. So with confidence, you don't have to. Everything is not on your outward appearance. If you walk in a room and own it with your confidence. Not, did I say yo? That sounds so bad. With your confidence.
Hey, I think your point got across gracefully.
Okay.
Fine. So you did perfectly fine there.
So that's what I do when in terms of building character.
Why don't you tell me about a past success story, C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C?
Hey, oh my goodness. Okay, so
you see that energy right there?
I love it. One of my students, she's actually my first. She's like my first baby. She's one of those that just stuck and would not go. I actually talked with her. I saw her today at church. She was
Nice.
She was 17 when I first got my hands on her, and she was like, she had no intention of graduating high school. She said that she needed too many credits and she was not going to do it. She was 19 already. Said that she wasn't going to college and she just wanted to get an apartment with her baby dad, her boyfriend, who happened to be locked up at the time.
Okay.
It was just a situation.
You had to find him somewhere to stay.
Yeah. What? Yeah. So, for a while, I just, I was listening to her. She just told me her whole story. And then I just stopped her in the middle and was like, look, I'm sorry, I just can't listen to this foolishness no more. And I just broke it all the way down. No, you ain't. You are going to graduate and you're going to college and you're going to do it. You're going to be successful. And she told me not long ago, she was like, when you were telling me that, I was like, I don't know who this lady thinks she's talking to. I ain't got it. She got the wrong one.
I love that, man.
But now, when I tell you that sister is graduated high school, of course, about to graduate from college.
All right.
Yes, working at a bank, doing her thing.
Do your thing, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I'm so
proud of her. And she says, she's told me, she was like, still to this day in her job, she'll hear me in her ear, like, you better close your mouth. Don't you say nothing. Don't you?
Man,
you better be quiet on them
you about to make me cry over here. That's all right, though, for real, man. That's what it's all about. That's what educators are for. That's what mentors are for. I gotta ask this: I'm a I'm a FAMU guy, but Mary McCleod Bethune is one of my biggest inspirations. Is there any kind of relation there at all?
Mary McCleod Bethune was my great aunt.
Get out of here! Now you ready for the baby? Yeah. Right, she's one of my favorites of all time. That's the only reason I can tolerate that school down there in Daytona. But anyway, now for real,
she has family at FAMU too, though.
Nice. When you were talking about being a third grade teacher, that popped in my head. I don't know why I didn't think about that before, but that's amazing.
My family says that. She's following in Mary McCleod.
That is all right, man. For real, she's one of the best of all time.
Oh, absolutely. One of my biggest inspirations.
Yes, ma'am. Let's talk about. So, what year did you found C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C? Okay,
so Divine Favor Inc. is actually the 501c3 organization, like the umbrella. So that was founded in 2011.
Gotcha.
And then 2016. In 2006, did I transition it in 2017? Okay. Yes.
Okay, well, I asked this. 2011. If you could go back and talk to Miss Tasia McCleod back then, tap her on the shoulder. Well, what kind of advice would you partake there?
I would tell 2011 Tasia to just stay focused, stay the course. Don't become distracted. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Don't get distracted. There were so many things throughout this journey that have deterred me, or I've allowed to deter me.
Understood.
And if I had known then what I know now, I would have. First of all, it would have started out as class.
Right. Yeah, that's the big one, right?
Class from the beginning.
Yes, ma'am.
Should have started with that. But just stay the course. Do class first. Trust God. Trust yourself, and don't be distracted.
That's all right, man. Let's talk about self-centered ambitions and how to avoid. And I read that on your site too.
Because class understands.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yes, she understands. understands that.
So how do you avoid those self-centered ambitions? Because we're taught to, go and do it for yourself and make sure that you,
No. If she, what is it? If she maintains. Oh my goodness.
No.
Oh, you got it.
I do have it.
Wait, it's on. Wait, let me see that flyer. Hand me the brochure.
Hold on. What? You don't have to.
The brochure.
You can kind of just
you got it.
answer it. I do. I've been studying. I wasn't trying to jam you up or nothing. I was just.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, it don't matter.
Right.
So if she assumes the posture of a graceful servant, that's what it is, okay? So if she avoids having self-centered ambitions and assumes the posture of a graceful servant, then she commands respect and favor.
Yeah, that's the opposite of that. Like, if I'm a servant, then there's no way my ambitions can be self-centered. I love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
That's the point.
Yes,
right
ma'am.
there. If you maintain that heart posture, if you're serving, if you're consistently serving, then it can't be about you.
Right.
But the wonderful thing about God is the fact that when you serve, if you're serving him, you're taking care of his business. Oh, he's definitely taking care of yours. You can't beat him giving.
Right.
So if you maintain the posture of a servant and you're constantly being filled, then everybody wins.
Amen. That's all right. Let's talk about, I want you to kind of give us a walkthrough of sorts of tomorrow's grand opening and then, the program itself. So I bring my daughter, I sign her up, and take it from there.
Okay, so the grand opening Monday is just about, or tomorrow is just mainly an open house. Is where the parents will pretty much get a full understanding of what the program is, what we offer, when the classes are, and so forth. So after Monday, the following Wednesday, 2 days later, is the first class, the first session.
Got it.
So essentially what she's going to learn is how to do a business plan. That's going to be the first for the pilot. Now I have a full curriculum for a year that teaches them everything from, you've seen it, pitching, data analysis, market research, to everything. Yes, ma'am. So, but I just want to make sure that this pilot, they're able to have something tangible when they walk out. Because it's not, it's not going to be the full course, but I need them to have, I want them to,
yeah.
something. So they're going to
let them get a little sample preview then.
Yeah. Pretty much. Learn the basics of a business plan.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome. Talk about goals and aspirations for C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C for Miss Tasia McCleod. Where you see this thing going?
Oh, it's gonna blow up, Shuey.
I can see that, Jamie Foxx. I love that word.
Blow up.
She's an 80s baby. She gotta be 80s baby.
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. See, that's our vibe right there.
Yeah.
I say blow up Shuey all the time. Right?
Really?
And that's one of them. See, this is the thing I was talking about. I say blow up Shuey, my 12-year-old is like, get out of here, old man. You say blow up Shuey, it's cool. So that's what we dealing with here.
That's the word. I can relate.
I'm sorry, Danielle. I love you.
So we have, we partnered with the Gainesville Housing Authority.
I saw that.
Yes. So
nice.
They're going to actually be sponsoring the girls from their community.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And then we've also partnered with this program called PRG with UF.
Okay.
It's Partnerships for Reimagining Gainesville.
Okay.
So with the pilot, we're going to pretty much package and market the C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C curriculum. And I've also been recently approved by the district of Alachua County. So I'll be able to teach C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C in the
wow, that's all right. Well, the school board, you mean?
Yes, the school board.
Right. So shout out to you on that. Shout out to the school board members. We have some nice Black women representation on our school board here. Miss Tina Certain, Miss McNeely, and the newly elected Miss Diane McGraw. So awesome. Shout out to all of y'all putting in that work that we need done out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I'll start with Westwood Middle School, Mr. Daniel Burney.
Okay.
The principal.
Nice. My son goes to Westwood. Yes. All right. Let's talk about. You already described voice decision making and confidence. You kind of got ahead of me there. I want to talk real quick. Can we talk access real quick? Social media, phone numbers. How do people access? I know people listening right now might want to.
Okay, so
website.
I can be reached. Well, So the website is, again, www.ClassInc.divinefavorinc.org. Okay, again, that's ClassInc.divinefavorinc.org. I can also be reached by phone, 954-501-1551. They can also text class to register. Text class to 352-280-3864. That's class C.L.A.S.S. to 352-280-3864. And then I said the website.
Yeah, you got it all.
I
just wanted to make sure people. Well, Facebook. Do you have a Facebook page or anything? But I'm sorry.
We are on Facebook, Class Inc. Also on Instagram, _Class Inc. _.
Got it.
And then our open house is tomorrow, the grand opening at the Makerspace building in the Gainesville Housing Authority. That location, the address is 200 Southeast 26th Street in Gainesville. 32641. Again, 200 Southeast 26th Street in Gainesville, Florida.
Nice. And definitely gonna shout that out. The programs for girls ages 8 to 18.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
We're gonna start the pilot with ages 14 to 17, and then we're gonna expand for the summer.
Talk about the different ages of these girls and the different challenges or experiences. Yeah, I mean, because I know the program will eventually be 8 to 18, and you're focusing on 14 to 17 now, but I know this personally, if 8-year-old is completely different from a 12-year-old or a 15-year-old. So talk about those stages then.
So I have 3 different curricula, and each of the 3 is geared toward a specific dynamic, that age dynamic. So I have 8 to 12. That's the first group, and then 13 to 15 is the second group, and then 16 to 18 is the third group. So, as you said, no, they do not mesh well in a group together. That's not going to happen. I wouldn't even do that because I allow my 18-year-olds to actually discuss things with me that grown-ups, right. 18-year-old, and I'm not gonna have that full conversation with 8-year-olds, and So, I find that the 8-year-olds, they think it's just fun. They get to experiment with new inventions. They like that. They like putting things together and like, I can sell this. It's cute, but you can't sell that. It's cute.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's that dynamic. And then the 13 to 15-year-old group, they're more about being cool. I realize that for the most part, they don't take it as seriously as the 16 to 18-year-olds do, but they do. I think they just enjoy the camaraderie and being like asking me questions. They just kind of want to be up under you. But in terms of the business portion, a few of them I have that really push it hard, and then the others kind of just want to hang out. So
happens.
It is, yeah. And then the 16 to 18-year-old girls, they are really about their money.
Yeah,
like
I
walked a few of them through their LLCs. They've started businesses. Like they're serious about it.
Wow, that's cool. Talk about. This is what I thought. I thought this was really interesting. Talk about the importance of maintaining communications with the primary influences of the girls, the teachers, the parents, the caregivers.
It is of the utmost importance.
Okay.
Because, first of all, I need to know what's going on with these girls at school. If they, and I'm so, like the very first meeting, I explained to them that this is my brand and my face and my name is on it. So what you're not going to do is have on a Class Inc. uniform out here cutting up in these streets. You know what I mean? So I maintain communication with their teachers because I like to gauge where they are in terms of their like the math and reading. We provide diagnostics and interventions. So what I need to do is make sure that the information that I get when I do the test, their initial test, is calibrated with the teacher, with their information. So I just kind of keep track. So by the end of the course, I can say, okay, on this day she was this when she started, but now she's at a level L, or now she's at a level N, or
right.
And that way, at the end of the course, that's something that I can just kind of keep for my portfolio. So when investors and people who are interested ask questions and say, okay, well, what kind of tangible results do you have? I can say, well, this is what I have.
Yeah.
This is
That's all right, man. It's an amazing report to have, too.
Right.
You guys offer a $50 scholarship. How do we register, apply for that, or whatever?
Okay, so the Gainesville Housing Authority is they are going to provide the $50 scholarships, but the restrictions that apply are just simply the fact that the young lady can't miss more than 2 classes, 2 sessions.
Got it.
Without there being some sort of approval. And the parents have just to make sure that the parents are in some way invested in it as well. So they have to do the $25, and then the Gainesville Housing Authority meets them there. But at the open house, we'll have people there who will be, giving money, sponsoring, buying vouchers, and that kind of thing. So if parents are actually, they really don't have it, but really want their child to be a part of it, we'll be able to assist in that.
That's all right, man. Bless your heart. Okay, almost coming to a close. I want to first, I want to do 2 things. I want to kind of give you just an open floor to, make your case, and if anything on your mind you wanted to say that you didn't, but we'll do that last. The next thing I want to do, well, the most immediate thing I want to do is, I want you to give some advice to some little boys out there, man. We feel, it's cold out there. Get something quick.
Little boy,
yeah.
You run into a glass ink daughter. You make sure that you treat her with the utmost respect.
I second that.
To require
I second that. Anybody's daughter.
Yeah, that's right. You treat her with the most respect.
Yes,
you don't just walk around and just, you're not just dropping seeds. We're not just, being disrespectful. We need to make sure that we uplift our African-American young women.
Yes, ma'am.
And we need to make sure that we are there. If you have a child, you need to be there to raise your child. Please.
Absolutely.
We don't need these young ladies walking around with babies on their hips by herself at 16. Come on.
Oh, I like that. Well, that's valuable advice. Thank you. Lastly, if there's any last words any last classy words, I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything, but I just want to make sure we cover all the bases.
I mean, we've actually covered.
Okay, well, cool. No pressure. I just want to make sure we do. I want to say shout out to your mom, man.
Oh my goodness.
For what she does, you know what I mean? I hope you don't mind if we get you real quick. But yes,
my mom caught that vision and listen, I told you, this is her show. I'm just teaching the curriculum.
Well, you both are doing an awesome job.
She does everything.
Yes, ma'am.
She catches the vision and she supports me like no other.
Well, on behalf of the community.
Don't forget them.
You want to shout out? Yeah, shout out. I do this with all the rappers. Shout your people out, man.
All right. I would definitely want to give a shout out to my auntie Lizzie. We still affectionately call her Lizzie. Her name's Elizabeth. She has also been in my corner from day one. Before I knew what C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C was, she was always like, "What can I do? What do you need?" And
all right, Aunt Liz.
Yeah, and she's a silent killer. She's the one that's just kind of gonna stand in the sidelines, but she's going to
support is vital.
Yes, in every way. And then also shouts out to my auntie Stan.
All right, Miss
She's
Stan.
actually the one who told. I have another business, and C.L.A.S.S.I.N.C was just a part of the package.
Yes, ma'am.
And she's the one who told me, baby, this is it. Did I just say my? She's like, no, this is it. You need to do class first. So I finally took her advice, and I'm glad that I did.
Yes. Shout out to Aunt Sam too.
All of my family here in Gainesville. Because let me tell you something. If you mess around and start calling names and don't call everybody,
that's how it works.
So
Trust me.
just all y'all. I love y'all. McDougal's, the McCleods.
Okay.
All my family, all my friends. Best friend Kateria. Shout out to her. Favorite cousin Rosa. Shout out to you.
All right. Can't forget nobody, man. That's all right. Thanks again for everything that you do. Thanks to you too, Ms. McCleod. Grand opening tomorrow at, you said 200. I thought I got 2200. It's 200.
No, it's 200.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm glad I didn't say it.
Yeah.
Well, 200 Southeast 26th Street, and it's 4 to 6 tomorrow, right?
4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
The actual program is going to be Monday and Wednesdays, 3 to 5. Got it. $75 program cost and $25 registration fee. Scholarships are available. Last thing we're gonna do is shout out them Access one more time, and just the website,
you can find us
or whatever.
The website is www.classinc.divinefavorinc.org. You can also find us on Facebook, Class Inc. You can also find us on Instagram _Class Inc. _. And you will definitely find us at 200 Southeast 26th Street in Gainesville, Florida, 32641 on tomorrow from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Be there or be square because you're not around. Do you know, I didn't know what that means. I've never heard that saying.
What, be there or be square?
Be there or be square. I knew that.
Oh, okay.
I've heard that saying.
Which one?
Because you're not around.
Because you're not around.
Oh, I never heard that, but that's really good. I understand it.
My brother said that to me the other night.
Yeah.
Is that why they say that?
That's pretty nifty.
Yeah, because you're not around.
Because you're not around.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay, so be there or be square because you're not around.
What you don't know, right? Hey, much love, Tasia. I really appreciate you.